Hi, I'm Raj Sukheja, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why startups don't fail, but you do. So you need to ascertain that you don't fail either, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Since 2016, there were 445 startups in India, which have increased to 86,000 plus in 2022, and the number is increasing exponentially. Many of those companies have reached levels which no one ever thought that they would achieve. Some of them have even become unicorns. A unicorn is $1 billion company in terms of valuation. And I foresee in the next 4 to 5 years, this number will increase even more, and that India is already on the way to becoming a global superpower. And this impetus of startups is going to fundamentally, exponentially push the boundaries in different areas, including technology, logistics, transport, AI, deep tech, defense, aviation, and more. Startups have done phenomenally well in offering employment, in bringing in capital, in growth, and then there have been the downside of startups as well, where many startups have also faltered, not been very successful. Some have even failed. And there is a reason for this. Reason for a startup to fail is lack of capital. Primarily, they do not foresee the kind of amount required to survive. The initial years when a startup is set up are extremely important, because if the startup cannot sustain itself, then it becomes a limping horse and it cannot move ahead in time, in growth, in expansion, or even in terms of surviving on its own to meet its own expenses. Therefore, it is extremely imperative that capital is considered as a priority, and an entrepreneur needs to calculate the amount of money required, at least a ballpark number, which is an approximate number, that you need 6 months, a year to capital to survive, and push hard for cash flow. Cash flows are extremely important, and many people talk about high valuations today on basic concepts, on basic ideas, not understanding that whether that valuation is actually going to be believed by somebody and somebody will definitely invest in you, or is it just a dream in your head that okay, somebody's going to come up and say, hey, great company, great idea, I'm going to give you so much money and you can do whatever you want with it. Besides capital, there are other reasons. Bad partnerships, incompetent team, bad hiring, lack of market focus, not able to understand the market. Many startups fail because of lack of marketing. They don't make enough noise. There is tremendous amount of noise in the marketplace, which means you have newspapers, social media, you have other traditional methods of marketing which are shouting out, a lot of money being spent everywhere, and the number is huge. So why should a small company like yours, a startup, be heard from? And why should somebody pay attention to it? So you have to find a niche market, at least at the outset. A niche market is a smaller market which you can focus on, which you can target, and which you can actually start realizing revenues from. Those revenues will help you grow slowly, steadily. You can bootstrap, you can be smart, you can hire the right people, not too many, some people that you require to deliver upon results, and take it one step at a time. And this is the way to go forward when you do not want to fail. A startup is like a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you have the high, sometimes you have the low, sometimes you are so dejected you feel as though there's no tomorrow. But trust me, don't quit, fight. Tomorrow is always better than today. So every time it seems that, oh, there's no tomorrow morning, keep fighting, keep struggling, and sooner or later you'll break the threshold and you will laugh at the days when you thought there was no future to your company or to your startup. For a startup, a formula to disaster is not thinking right, not putting enough money in sales and marketing efforts. I've seen when the times are depressing and when the company doesn't have enough resources, the first thing an entrepreneur thinks to cut down on is marketing. But marketing and sales are your cash flows. If you do not have clients, if you do not have a pipeline, how are you going to make money? If you don't make money, you don't get cash, how are you going to survive? How much will you borrow? How long will you borrow? And how long will the market allow you to borrow if you do not have revenues? And revenues have to be there, billing has to be there. Some revenues may be cash, some may be on credit, but you might get long-term payments. But the sales has to go on, the effort has to go on, and you need to keep focusing on that. The formula to disaster is having to give up and believe, oh no, I can't spend on marketing now and I'll do it later because I don't have the money today. But if you don't market, you will never take it to the next stage. There is a very funny story I would like to tell you all. I mean, it's not really funny, it's sad, but it's funny. There's an entrepreneur I know who we were consulted for, and this gentleman has taken equity in his company at a certain value. He diluted some portion of equity from friends, relations, and whoever he knew. And at the end of the day, now his friends are expecting the same equity plus a premium to be diluted further when he's trying to raise additional capital. But that equity was valued by him and offered to his friends, and they believed him and they paid the money and they got the valuation done. They accepted his valuation, in other words. But when you look at the market, the professional market, when he has approached the professional market, he's not able to get the same kind of value that he was expecting, and he cannot go below the market that he has already offered the shares to his friends and family. Now he's at a situation where he neither can offer to the market and neither can he go to his friends and family for additional funds. What does he do? So the solution is, do not overvalue your business. Value your business to a certain extent where you can actually be able to raise equity which is sensible. A lot of companies have come, which you all might have seen, have overvalued and have diluted their equity to a great extent, to a point where the valuation has collapsed. I can name several companies, but I'm sure all of you are aware of those. I love modern terms, especially in finance. They come up with these new terms every time and they are quite amazing to me. I'm a traditional businessman by heart and I understand profits. Nowadays, companies that are not making profit are also getting valued, and the valuations keep increasing and their losses keep increasing as well. They give it different terms like burn rate, which means technically I put in money, create more customers, give more discounts to the customers. So basically I'm losing money, but the more customers I get, the more my valuation increases and the investor pays for it. Where's the logic to that? Don't know. But I mean, I do not understand it. A good businessman looks at profits. Short-term losses, I can understand. Consistent losses, I cannot understand. And where does this end? To sum it up, a startup should not be allowed to fail or cannot fail if the parameters, the variables are correct, which means your research is correct, your cash flows are correct, your revenues are correct, your thinking is aligned with the product and the service, and you are approaching the business conservatively. So use wisdom. Market theories are phenomenal. They have a great potential. But along with market theories, use wisdom as well. Traditionally, a business needs to make profit, and profit is the name of the game. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell icon for all future updates.